my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to our live show, Tipsy Tuesday. Hey everyone, and thank you for being here on this lovely Tuesday, our last Tipsy Tuesday before Christmas. Oh, look how festive you are with your hat. Whoop whoop. I had every intention of wearing my really thick Christmas sweater, but I was already sweating, so I had to put on our brand new shirts. Nice. Yeah, so yeah, we just gave everybody one for our holiday party yesterday. But thank you all for being here. Tipsy Tuesday, of course. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, so welcome, welcome. Say hi to your friends in the comments. And we encourage you to keep commenting throughout the show, especially at the end when we ask you a question to be entered into a giveaway for a $25 gift card. Thumbs up, hearts are always appreciated throughout. And of course, hit that share button if you wouldn't mind. We love that. So we appreciate you. We have lots to share today. It's a big show today. It's kind of been a big show this whole month, which as it should be. It's my birthday month still. So it is, of course, our fourth Advent project will be revealed today. That will be my tip of the day. And then I got a really big surprise, revealing a project that I've been working on in secret for quite a while. So I'm very excited to share. But this is, of course, the season of the Yule lads, the Icelandic Yule lads. Now, those of you that have been following me for maybe some years, I have always shared about the Icelandic Yule lads, which are our Santas. There are 13 of them, quite mischievous little buggers sometimes, but kind, and give you gifts if you're a good kid.
A little scary. A little.
No, so of course, you know, Icelandic children put their shoe in the window starting on December 11th, and then every day one of the 13 Yule lads comes to town, and if you've been good, you get something nice in your shoe. If you haven't, you do get a raw potato. So, of course, Johan and Leo have their shoes in the window because these guys are magical. It doesn't matter where the Icelandic children are. You can put your shoe in a window. They will find a way to get some great things in your shoe if you've been behaving. And so Johan has been more and more interested, and he's asking more and more questions about certain things. So with them all having their own characteristics, for example, one of them is called Spoon Licker, and that's because the folk tale about him and the poem about him is he would sneak into the kitchen and steal the wooden spoons that still had like leftover food on it, and he would lick all the food off till they were licked clean. And so Johan put a dirty spoon. Well, there he is with him and Leo with his little gifts. But he's been leaving stuff for them. So the spoon that he left in the window before Spoon Licker came, of course, that looks like some delicious leftovers on that spoon. But he insisted that he would write a note to the Yule lad telling him, this is not yours. And so it says, Ekki fara með heim. That means, do not take the spoon. You can lick it, but you cannot take it. He did the same thing with Bo Licker. He saved his oatmeal from the morning. It was sitting on the table all day. Nobody was supposed to touch it because he was saving it for Bo Licker. But he made sure to write that, do not take the bowl. That is Johan's. But you can eat what's in it. I think it's hilarious. That's the best part. That's the best part about this season to see. Yeah, he asked me a question like, how do the Icelandic Yule lads have like elves that help them get the stuff and make the toys? So I had to answer some difficult questions. But
what'd you say?
It's like, do they go shopping? I said they actually do have special shopping hours at many different stores. You know, so then they do all kinds of magic too, but they don't really have elves. But very fun. So so much fun to experience all that.
Awesome.
Another day of fun was here in the warehouse yesterday. We stopped everybody working at 2 o'clock and had a little holiday party. We set a big table, had some really good food. And then, of course, true to the fun at GE, we played some really fun games. We had, this game was hard.
I did it.
Of course, Mr. HP set this up to be too hard. There's money taped on the table, so you have to roll your water bottle on the money. And this was a relay, which we won. You didn't notice? That was really fun. It was a fun day, and we finished it with watching the Vikings beat the Bears. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun day. It was a long day, but it was really fun. So we really appreciate everybody at GE. Everybody's working so hard. It's been a crazy busy December, and it is wildly busy here today.
Best crew ever.
Best crew ever. I know. We're so thankful for everybody. But, of course, I mentioned a little bit in the beginning about our giveaway at the end of the show. Last week, our giveaway question, what is your favorite animal to observe? So I think we have to announce the winner from last week.
Drum roll, please.
Yes. The winner is Pia Kramer. Congratulations, Pia. You have won a $25 gift card. So make sure to email us at help@gequiltdesigns.com to claim your prize. And her answer was, I love watching penguins. They are so cute when they walk and awesome when they swim. So that is actually a very fun animal to watch. Very fun. So congrats, and make sure everybody stick around to the end of the show. We have another giveaway question for this week. But I think it's time to just dive into, we have so much to share. And first off, let's take a look at our 4th Advent tutorial. So this is a free tutorial and a free tip sheet that you can download from our website after the show. So just sit back, hang tight. Those of you that ordered our Advent box, this video and instructions will be in your account after the show. So enjoy Advent number 4. It is time for our 4th and final Advent projects this year, so let's take a look. I'm sure some of you spied this in here. We have some clothesline, so I'm assuming that's for us today. And we have a little package to go with it. Let's see. Oh, we have some jeans needles. Some glue, okay, little fabrics, fun stuff, fun colors, and a little package. What is in here? Oh, this is nice. This is a little hook you can place on a table for a purse or something else. So let's see what we're going to be making today with these really fun things. Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make these really fun rope project, whether you try your hand at just a coaster, a basket, or even a bowl to hold your scraps. Let's start on our rope project. First off, you want to have ideally 100% cotton rope. I recommend a diamond braid or a solid braid rope. The twisted rope is not going to hold up very well as a looser weave. So anything that is a diamond braid or a solid braid rope. We're going to play with adding some fabric in here. So I'm going to cut my scrap strips down. One thing you want to have is a jeans needle for your sewing machine. So this is 100 or a 16 size jeans needle. I'm going to use just a Elmer's washable school glue stick to adhere my strips to the rope. And then you're going to just need some pins and, of course, sewing machine, what I did for my rope project, I just matched my thread with the rope. So I just did a off-white or a light gray thread. You can, of course, use colored thread. It's going to show up, the stitches are going to show up, but I recommend when you're starting, just starting with something that's going to hide well, and because we get a little off when we're practicing. So I'm going to get started here, and first thing I'm going to do is just prep my fabric strips. They can be different widths, but I found that for me, 1-inch strips are the best. So I'm going to just start by cutting my long strip into smaller units because I like it better when I space out my fabrics and do kind of a random thing than wrapping the whole thing. You can of course wrap the whole rope with strips as well, but I'm just going to do these smaller things at a side. I like to just have a small scissor also by my sewing machine so I can kind of trim it to size. I'm going to cut 1/2-inch strips. So they are very small, but I found that that's the best way, 1 to 1/2 inch. So here I have some 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to take these over to my machine, and let me get some more of different colors. So I like to just use my Stripology mini ruler to cut these into 1/2 inch. Very quick and easy. And because they don't need to be that accurate, it's okay if we're cutting many layers. Let me get some green in there as well. Just a little bit. And this is a little bit smaller. So once you have your strips ready, you just want to take it over to the sewing machine. Make sure you put your jeans needle in, have a full bobbin that is matching your top thread. So if you want to do like I do, just something that blends in well with your rope, that is the best option. So I have my bits here that I'm going to just wrap as I go. Now as we start, so here's what I recommend. If you've never done this before, I recommend just starting with a flat project like a little coaster. So we're gonna start the same way, and then you can start to try other things like maybe a little bit of a curved bowl, so that then I started just flat, and then you start angling your bowl up on your sewing machine as you sew. And then a harder thing would be a sharper angle bowl, and it's a little bit tricky depending on what kind of sewing machine you have because they are all set up differently, but I'm going to show you how you can do this type of bowl and utilize something like a purse hook to hang right by your sewing machine. I love this, to have something like this hanging right by my sewing machine to collect my scraps, thread scraps, fabric scraps. So this is kind of meant to hold that right by your sewing machine. So I'm going to show you how you can create that little loop to do that. There's a couple of different finishes. I like this one is buried and the ends are buried. Some people just tie a knot to and just let it fray. So you can also just chop it off like I did here and just really stitch the end down. But so many different ways, and I'm going to show you different ways. But to start with, we always start with the coil in the middle if we're doing a circular type of projects. So you want to go ahead and unwrap your rope. And to get started, I have it unwrapped here so I can easily pull from it. It's not going to get tangled. So we're going to start with one end, and when we start, we're just going to wrap a very tight loop Start with a very tight loop, and it's okay if it ravels a little bit in the beginning. We're going to stitch over that and stitch that down anyway. So you just start wrapping a little bit of a circle, make a little bit of a cinnamon roll here, and then once it is about 1.5 inches or so, at least, we're going to just put pins in it to hold it. So sometimes it's easier to do this on a table. We're just wrapping until it's about 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to take my fine pins and just stick it right in through here, so making sure it's laying flat. We're going to put these pins in on like 3 sides is good. And so as we start to sew, you can do this with the zigzag, or you can do it just with a straight stitch. I'm going to just draw it with a water erasable pen to show you. So you want to go in with your straight stitch or your zigzag and go just straight across, all the way across here, and then make a kind of an X, opposite direction, and then you want to go 2 more times to stitch this flat down like this. So create a little star right in the middle. So as you can see, across, cross, and then in between, and that will hold this together. So like I said, you could do this with a straight stitch, or you can do it with the zigzag stitch that we're going to be using for the machine. So now you're going to take this to your machine and get started. Like I said, I recommend you try something like this, which is you're just looping around until you have a size that you're happy with. So a coaster or a little hot pad, trivet, or even as big as a little candle mat or a placemat, and then go from there. So we start here, and starts the same whether we're doing a bowl, a basket, or whatever we want to end up with. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and show you how I set up the machine for the stitching. So I'm going to start with my straight stitches across. I'm just going to do my zigzag. So what you want to set your zigzag up as, you want to have it pretty wide. I have mine at 4.5. You can go up to 5mm wide. I have 4.5, which works great for me in this size rope. And then the length of it, I have about 1.8 millimeters. I think it's better to have it a little bit smaller because you're going around tight curves, especially to begin with, but you can try different things. So I'm going to start with my zigzag, just going straight across since I have matching threads. You can always do a decorative stitch with this first step to kind of make it look good if you have a different color thread, but I'm just going to go straight across. From here, I'm just going to back up, go backwards into the center, and then I'm going to turn and go out on all the angles of those lines that I drew. So go forward and backwards back into the center. So as you can see now, I've gone straight across, so this is pretty sturdy here in the middle, and I can start going around and zigzag and build my coil. So what you want to do always is have your rope right here coming down straight in front of you as you start doing the circles. I usually start, so if my rope is open here, I want to start a little bit over here to secure this last round. So what you want to do is have the center of your foot always be landing in the crease between the two ropes that you're going to be stitching. So I'm going to put my foot down here, And just, it's always harder to do a tighter curve. So I'm just gonna start by securing my threads here. And then go really slowly around this first bend. So I can turn the rope as I go. So now I have the rope in at the right angle, ready to start stitching around. So again, you want to have the rope going straight here, and then you control with the piece that you're stitching on with your left hand. So you see that little crease right here coming in the middle, that's where you want to angle your foot, and then just keep turning your side unit here so that you're always catching both sides of the rope. And pushing it in a little bit to make sure that it doesn't become a gap between the two. So now as you keep going, you might want to add a little fabric. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I just take a piece of fabric here. You want to take your glue stick and just put a little bit of glue right on the end. And I put it underneath the rope. Just wrap it around to start with and kind of push down on it. And then you want to just tightly wrap the rope. And it's going to be some loose threads. Don't worry about that. It's all going to get covered up and stitched. So however long you want that little bit to go, this is why I always just have scissors. So this first ones, I don't want them that long, so I'm just going to cut this off and add a little bit of glue on the end. And then keep wrapping until I can stick that down with my glue. So now I'm ready to continue on with stitching. So as we keep going round and round, if you're doing just a flat project, that is very simple, and we come to the end, you finish the end of your rope. But if you want to start angling and do a bowl or a basket, you would just, whenever you have the base size that you want, you start angling your piece upwards, and then you start doing those rounded edges. So what's going to be limiting for you is probably the way your machine is set up. So mine has not much space right here because I have my needle threader, and it has quite a big piece coming out this way. So sometimes if you have a vintage machine that has a pretty flat side here, it's going to make this easier to make those types of projects. But I was able to do both of my projects, both of those bowls. The basket was wider in the middle, so I was just able to go up on the sides as it got bigger. Now the tighter bowl was a little bit harder because I wanted the sides to be pretty flat, so I had to just bend it as I started angling. So whatever you feel like doing, I want to try this wider bowl. I didn't start angling it until I had about a 4-inch flat base. And with this one, you want to start angling with about a 2.5 inch base. So I'm going to go once around, and then I'm going to start angling this up because I want to show you how to make the little bowl that I use for scraps. So now I'm going to start angling up, and because we want this to be as sharp as possible, I'm going to hold this up as much as I can this way. And so I'm just going to keep stitching around. I'm gonna add a little bit of fabric here. Now normally I wouldn't cut the threads, but I wanted just to show you I'm starting to create those sides, and they are gonna be angled. It's hard to get complete 90-degree sides, but as you can see, it's on the same track as being this. So I'm gonna just keep adding fabric as I go around, and what you'll see as I start building this, I'm gonna have to start crunching it down just to be able to go around, but it's literally same process, just keep going the same way. So as you can see, as the bowl gets bigger, I'm just kind of pushing it down to be able to fit it under my machine, because I want to get these walls as straight as possible. You might have noticed I have my machine setting so it always ends with a needle down. If you don't have that setting on your sewing machine, you might want to make sure, if you're going to stop and wrap or do something, to always put your needle down, because then it will stay exactly where you left off. And so I'm going to continue, make it a little bit bigger. If I'm comparing it to this one, I want it to be maybe an inch or two taller, so I'm going to keep going. So I think I'm happy with what my bowl looks like now, and it actually is just a little bit deeper and tighter than my first one. So now what I want to do is create that loop on the inside. The reason why I do it on the inside, so that when it hangs, it doesn't hang all the way, so stuff doesn't fall out. So what we want to do here is I'm going to just use my pin. So I want to cut off a bit of rope. I'm going to leave probably about a foot here, just so I have enough. And then I want to angle this inside to where I want this to be. This looks good to me. And then I'm going to pop a pin right here at the top where it loops back up. And tighten that in. I'm going to put it on both sides so I can keep this nice and tight. And then I'm going to zigzag down this way and a little bit in and secure it. And then I'm going to start on this side again, zigzag a little bit in here, and then keep going on the outside. And probably create just a loop to finish it off here. Now I have done my inside loop, and now I want to finish this off. I'm going to finish this off by doing another loop that rolls inside. So I'm just going to cut my rope off, and I'm going to actually thin this out just a little bit. So cut a little wedge to make it easier to fold in. So as we fold this in, I'm also going to use a pin to stick it right here. I'll just open this up to show you. So we want to just tuck this in like this. I'm going to put a pin right through where it's going to loop inside. So I'm going to keep stitching. I'm going to stitch all the way to the end of the loop. I'm going to back stitch back and then go over this intersection right here and go a few times just to secure my threads. So here we go. I have my bowl. I think, you know, this is all about practice and based on your sewing machine. So here we have our inside hook like this. And of course that I meant that to hook a little purse hook or any other hook, so this can sit at my sewing machine and collect my little cut off threads or whatever else as I sew, and then we can discard them. But you can, of course, play with the shapes. You can play with the size, whether you do a basket, bowl, or just fun little coasters. I hope you enjoy playing with the rope and playing with your fabric scraps and make something fun. I hope you enjoyed making the rope project with me, whatever you decided to try, whether you did the coasters or a little basket. I love this idea of having the bowl hanging right by your sewing station to catch all those scraps and loose threads as you work. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Yes, rope bowls. And of course, this is just a tutorial on really the technique. You can do whatever you want with these. You will be a little bit limited by your machine, as you saw how mine was. It came down really low. Most of those newer machines do and have all the, you know, bells and whistles with the threader and stuff. So you can get there. But let me answer some of your questions. Susan asked, are you using a special cording foot? No. So what I found that was best a pretty narrow foot. It was just, and it had a clear front, so you can really see the center. It kind of curved into the middle, so you can see where the center of it is and where the needle is going to be centered, because that you can angle right in between those two ropes you're sewing together. So really easy. Not heavyweight thread, just a regular cotton thread. I used a 50 weight. You can use thicker thread. That is, of course, optional. And I've seen really fun ways you can use colored thread for a portion of it and play with thread color as well. What happens if you run out of rope? Well, of course, I think you can piece it. You can take just a raw edge end and kind of budge them together and really just zigzag over them. I'm sure you can do that. But this rope, that if you got the Advent box, that rope goes a long way. So that coil made 2 of these for me. It also made this one and 1 coaster. And I have leftovers still. I could probably make 3 more coasters, 2-3 more coasters, or like a bigger, I was thinking of making a bigger mat like this, like a candle mat, use it as a trivet, something like that. Yes, zigzag stitch. I talk about it in the beginning of the video, so you can watch that again. Now, the actual tutorial, the pattern is not really a pattern because it's really just a technique, but I did put together a little sheet that you can download as a free pattern. It just has all of my tips, all the things to consider, the settings that I used for my zigzag, both the width and the length. And so, what size are the straps? Strips. Oh, strips. I also talk about that in the beginning of the video. I cut mine at 1/2 inch. So you can, sorry, you can do whatever you want. You can have them wider, you can have them thinner. It's really a great way to use up all kinds of scraps and just wrap it around. But a 1/2 inch worked really well for me. So again, it's just going to have tips. So whether you want to make the actual bowl or like a basket or just some flat, these are really, really easy to do. So don't be afraid. I saw some of your comments, or you're worried you're going to mess it up. Start with just a little coaster. Really, truly. It really gets you, in the groove of how to manage this under your machine. So start with a little project. So I wouldn't start right away. If you've never done this before, I wouldn't start right away on this. I started with a coaster, and I was pretty happy how it turned out. So I was confident enough to try something else. Would it work to use your free arm and stitch from the outside so the bowl looped under the free arm? So because you start small and you build it out, I suppose you could cut the threads and switch it, but I've never seen it done that way, and I thought about that, but I've never seen it done that way. I think it's because it's really limiting on how big your bowl is and how it's going to be. I think you can't get it over your free arm until it's really actually quite big. So it worked out for me because they are very pliable, and so that's really nice. And I think that also accounts for what kind of rope you can of course do this with other than cotton rope. There are many kinds. I recommend the diamond or the braided rope. So those are much tighter. If it's just a regular round rope, then that's going to be looser weave and it's going to be smushier and not stand up so nicely. So try it. It's really, I was surprised at how, you guys know I don't like putsy things. But this was actually surprisingly enjoyable. It was really satisfying to make these things. And I think I might make some more. Yeah. I'm actually saying that out loud. But I really enjoyed it. So try it out. I hope you try it out. We have the rope. Those of you, if you didn't order the Advent box, we have the rope on the website, and we also have the jeans needle. I think that's important to have a jeans needle because you need a sturdier needle for sure. I saw a question about why I didn't use a walking foot. And I think you can see as you start working on this, you want the smallest foot that you have. I had no trouble not having a walking foot, but a walking foot is just you're going to get in the way when you're trying to angle and turn and do those things. So if you're maybe doing just a flat project like a coaster or trivet or placemat or something, then yes, maybe a walking foot is fine, but I would say it's going to get in your way if you're going to try to do bowls and stuff like that. All right, any other questions? Awesome. Yeah, it's a great way to customize and add fun colors. Make little coasters for that's a great little hostess gift, or you know, as a little visitors or guest gift for a party favor. And you can make them in the favorite colors, you know, use the fabric of their favorite color and stuff like that. So I have all kinds of ideas. But I hope you enjoy, and this is a perfect little thing that you can just make really quickly. Just make sure you switch that needle back out once you start quilting, because I didn't do that. All right, so like I said, the video and the free pattern will be on the website right after the show. It'll be live on YouTube as well. And those of you that order the Advent box, they will be in your account. So it's easy for you to go there and find it and just skip through, go back, and try it yourself. All right, moving on to some exciting things. We started yesterday, well, midday yesterday. Guess what arrived? Christmas in Europe book arrived in-house yesterday. So from the printer, we are so excited to get all of those out. We shipped them all, our amazing team, they shipped them all out today. So they are on their way to you as we speak. And so, yay, very excited that you, once you get them in your hands, and start looking at them. So very happy with it. They're beautiful. If you want to switch the overhead and just show you a little, we love the photos. There's the recipes. And so they're just telling the stories behind each of the blocks. And then, of course, we have the bonus projects here on the back. So one of those is hanging right behind you today, the bonus tree quilt. And we have the bonus runner hanging on the side behind me. So beautiful, beautiful stuff. Actually, 2 bonus projects on each side. We have the wall hanging, the table runner and the wall hanging. So, yes. So that's coming your way. Oh, we have a quilt in the middle. This is one of the new ones from the Quickies book. It is the Diana Supersize, super quick, and I'm going to show you this fabric. It just came in. Beautiful, summery blues and yellows. But before we do that, we have something very, very exciting to share. Those of you following us on Instagram or social media may have seen some sneak peeks and some posts in the past couple of days. But I am very excited to share this with you. Now, I've been working on this for a while, of course, in secret. But as many of you know, back in the day, I used to design fabric. I designed fabric for Red Rooster Fabrics. I actually ended up releasing 14 fabric lines with them between the years of 2007, 6, 7 to 2013. So, and then I decided to take a break and have been happily on a break until I didn't really think I was going to come out of fabric design retirement. Until recently, I was presented with this beautiful opportunity to work with Andover Fabrics and create a basics collection for them. So basics collections are great, of course, and I thought to myself, it fits really well into what I do and what we do here at GE. As many of you know, we carry a lot of basics collections in our 1-yard cuts, and being able to create what I like and what I feel we need, it was a beautiful thought. So here is finally the reveal of my new fabric collection. It's called Heima. So Heima means home in Icelandic. So this collection is inspired by the wild beauty of Iceland, of course. And Heima is home to me and always will be. So this is going to be 32 prints total. Not releasing, coming into stores. We're not getting our hands. It's not on the market until August. Not shipping until August 2025. But stores can order their collections now. So there are 4 designs in the collection. So 4 actual prints, and then each print is presented in 8 different colors. And so everything about it is based on and inspired by Iceland. I am really excited about it. So let's take a look at my inspiration for the 4 different unique prints. The first print that I really wanted to do, something that I have enjoyed looking at all my life, are the really incredible designs in a glacier. So whether you're in an ice cave or whether you're on top of the glacier, all of the unique patterns and the crystals they just are so unique and irregular and sometimes regular. It really inspired me. So this was the first print called Glacier, and we have 8 different colors. And so the colors, I decided to name them and take inspiration also from Iceland for each color. So we're starting with this one, with beautiful deep blue with just a slight kind of a teal undertone. I call in this waterfall. And of course, if you've been to Iceland and seen photos, we've got quite a few of those, quite a few waterfalls. The next color is a gorgeous, deep, almost a little bit of a warm gray called ash. And ash is something that Icelanders are pretty familiar with, and probably folks that heard about the big ash cloud from one of our volcanic eruptions. The third color in the glacier print is moss. Now, Iceland is covered, like a lot of the lava fields are covered with thick layers of moss, and this is the perfect color of that moss, that particular moss. Of course, moss comes in different types and is in different, in different colors, but this is really that grayish green is beautiful. The fourth I'm calling ice because it's this beautiful icy bluish gray. And so just imagine yourself inside an ice cave, and that is truly the color that you see, as you can see in this photo. So I am really excited about that one. I think it's going to be really versatile. Next one I'm calling rhyolite. So this is in between a reddish, hue-ish brown. It's brown, gray, red, purplish hue. It's rhyolite. And rhyolite is, of course, a version of a rock. So we have rhyolite mountains, and so I took my inspirations from the rhyolite mountains. It's just beautiful colors, and you see different colors everywhere you look, and based on the light. So that is the inspiration for that. Next up is saddle. This really beautiful red, burnt reddish, orangey red. This is, of course, I'm taking the word saddle straight from the Icelandic saddle. So you know about the Icelandic horses. You have to have an Icelandic saddle to ride those horses. A very unique saddle, but I love this color. I use it a lot, so excited about that. Rose wild in Iceland, most beautiful thing to put on if you're cooking some lamb or any kind of meat or vegetables. We just pick it, and they have this really beautiful purplish flowers as it blooms. And then last but not least, out of the glacier prints is volcano. So a deep reddish orange, and something I probably do not have to explain where that inspiration comes from. This was just happening very, very recently in Iceland, this photo. This photo came from very, very recently. So these are the 8 colors in the glacier print. So the next print up, I am inspired by this type of moss that grows in Iceland, and it kind of is a mix between it almost looks like lichen, but it's really a moss. It grows kind of on the top of the foliage, and it has really great medicinal purposes. We have used it medicinally for centuries in Iceland. We also cook it. It's very common to cook it in some milk and some sugar, and it makes a delicious little soup. And so, yeah, very nutritious and to some, very delicious. But I love the irregular print of it, so this was the inspiration for that print, which I'm calling moss. So you can see I layered the shapes of those moss leaves into the print. So this color of the moss print is called basalt. And basalt is, of course, one of the rocks that are prevalent in Iceland. And I knew I needed to have that perfect medium gray. And that's my inspiration for that. Next up is a pink version of that print, and I'm calling this Summer Sunset. So if you've ever been in Iceland in summer, it really doesn't get very dark. But maybe you were lucky enough to see the sunset, and actually it doesn't look very dark, but it looks like this. It will be completely pink, and it's the coolest thing when you get to see that. Then we have a green, beautiful green. I'm calling this mallard. We have a lot of species of duck in Iceland, and of course, most common being mallard. I remember going as a little girl with my great-grandfather walking down to the duck pond to feed the ducks. And so that's a very vibrant memory in my mind, and that mallard green is just gorgeous. So then we have my version of black. I'm calling it obsidian. So of course it's not a pure black. You got to see the print, but it's a very dark charcoaly black. Obsidian is another rock. Yeah, we do have a lot of rocks in Iceland. A lot of different types of rocks. We are a volcanic island. But obsidian is really cool to see in the wild, in real life. Has this smooth, shiny texture, and so that was the inspiration behind that memory, or that color. Then we have a color I call icicle. So this is not a pure white. It has a little bit of a grayish hue to it. A really great background color with that print and icicles. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. If you grew up in a colder climate, I'm sure you use those things in sword fights, or in a pinch, they became lollipops because, you know, there was icicle. Never any lollipop, or no, I mean, popsicles. I mean, there's never any popsicles in our freezer as kids. We would just have to rely on those. Tasty, huh? Especially with all the dirt from the roof. Oh, the things we did. Next color is poppy. This beautiful reddish orange is inspired by the Icelandic poppy that grows actually pretty wild around people's gardens. But I really love these delicate flowers and fun flowers, and they're so hardy, and that color is just gorgeous. Then we have rhubarb. And that color is a deeper red, so a little bit of burgundy in there, because those deep colored stems of the rhubarb are so pretty. That color is so pretty. And then, of course, when you cook it into something, it turns that really dark red. So love rhubarb. Iceland as one of the few things we can easily grow in Iceland. And so this was our summer snack. You pulled up a little stem of rhubarb and begged for a cup of sugar to dip it in, and that was your snack. Then we have this beautiful teal. I'm calling this color Aurora because even though the Aurora has multiple colors, the background of it always is this really deep, gorgeous teal color. So I really love this one, and I'm excited to use it. Moving on to our third print. This one was inspired by, I'm calling it beach rock, so these beautiful smooth pebbles that look like they would have just been smoothed down by a human, but they are all different sizes, a little bit different shapes, a little bit of a different shade. You find them on the rocky beaches, you'll find them on riverbeds, and all over. They're so pretty and fun to play with. And so we have 8 colors in that print. We have lupin, which is a light purple, almost lavender, kind of in between, because when you look at the lupin when they're growing in the fields, that is the kind of overall color you see. We have night sky, which is a deep navy. There's nothing like a really dark night sky in Iceland in the wintertime. And then you really see stars and all kinds of fun things. But so I really wanted that deep dark navy. We have a shade of gray I'm calling shark. Of course, we in Iceland, we eat a little bit of shark. The Greenland shark is that their skin is that really unique gray color. And yeah, if you haven't had a chance. It's
So
delicious.
So delicious.
So delicious, said no one ever. Next color is, I'm calling it snow. Yeah, you skipped the swatch. You went straight to the snow. Here's the swatch.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. It just looks like fresh fallen snow. So this one is our kind of off-white color, and I think that's self-explanatory, that photo. Have you ever driven around in these kinds of mountains? Yeah, it's fun. The next color is a dark brown. It is a bit darker than it shows off, I think, on the screen. And this one I'm calling coffee break, because there is something, and this is, every Icelander's going to know this, there's coffee break twice a day. We have a morning coffee break, we have an afternoon coffee break, and that's really what we call it, kaffitími, coffee break. Yeah. Next color is a bright red with a little bit of pinkish tone. I'm calling it red currant. Red currants that grow, a lot of folks grow these. My mom still has a few currant trees in the backyard, makes currant jelly every year, and it's delicious, red currant jelly. So this was also a snack. They were pretty sour, though, sometimes. You need a little bit of sugar with them, but they're delicious. Then we have a really awesome lime green color. I'm calling it Angelica. So it's kind of a chartreusey green. Angelica grows wild in Iceland, and I just adore this plant. Also has a lot of medicinal purposes and features, but it is kind of grows like a weed, but it is really pretty, really, really pretty. And then we have Buttercup, a beautiful buttery yellow. Buttercup is one of those wildflowers also that grow very easily in Iceland, so you'll see little streams and riverbeds that have buttercup all over. So really, really gorgeous. So our fourth print in the line, I'm calling knit. And so this is inspired by this beautiful texture of our wool and our knitted sweaters and knitted clothing out of wool. So adding a little bit of a texture on top of it, we have 8 colors in this print, and I really am excited about that one. We have this deep blue called River. You can see the knitted texture very subtly, and then just some stars on top to put my little signature on it. And our deep rivers can be such different shades of blue, but that deep blue is so beautiful. We have a magenta pink. I'm calling it Campion. We have a flower, Campion flower, which is the brand, it's actually moss campion. It grows in a little mound, and it's so pretty out in the wild. So pretty to see this color. Then we have a green, a beautiful medium, a little bit bright but olivey green. This color I'm calling Sorrel. Sorrel grows all over, of course, wild, and we use this actually a lot in cooking. And as kids, we used to eat them. Again, as snacks, yeah. You know, I was grown wild as a child. Free-range children, as we call it. And then we have a beautiful cream. I'm calling this wool. I think that's very appropriate. It's the perfect shade of that white wool. We have, of course, different colors of the sheep, but that white wool, that is the color, not quite white. It's got quite a bit of cream in it. Another light tone of this print, I'm calling it Silica. So it has a little bit of that chalky gray hue to it. Chalky, a little bit of a taupe hue to it. Hard to see on the screen, but that is inspired. If you've ever been to Iceland and happen to enter the Blue Lagoon, get yourself some Silica. Another thing that's really good for you and good for your skin especially. So that's that muddy, it's kind of a after product of what happens at the Blue Lagoon, and so it was really good for your skin. Then we have a beautiful plummy purple called Crowberry. Crowberries are delicious, harvested in August and September, grow wild, another snack. It's all about snacks that I ate as a kid, but makes beautiful jams and jellies and delicious. So really love that color too. We have a beautiful aqua turquoise. I'm calling it Lagoon, inspired by the blue lagoon and that unique blue color. And last but not least, color number 32. Really deep gold, calling it Dandelion. Now this gorgeous flower grows everywhere. Not just Iceland, I know, but we have plentiful dandelions. They grow very easily. But they're pretty. It's a pretty color. It's a pretty color. However you are excited about having these in your yard or not, but they are beautiful. So this is Heima. So excited about it. Of course, I have taken the liberty. I haven't gotten my hands on fabric yet, but I have taken the liberty of coloring some of my quilts in these fabrics. So let me just flip through them really quickly. I know our show is extended quite a bit, but here is our retreat quilt, Felicity, which will be released as a pattern later this summer before the fabric comes out. And this is shown in our Heima fabrics. I put together some quilts from my Iceland book. Here is Basalt from the Iceland book using 4 of the grays. Here's a lupin quilt made with some of the prints in there and that gorgeous basalt gray in the back. I put together an Inga quilt from the Mixology 3 book. Love this colorful version. Used a little bit of the deeper tones of the fabrics in this one. And then a Lilo from the Quickies book popped it with that snow fabric, brightening all the colors up. For something deep and moody, I made a Millie quilt using the coffee break brown in the background. Very rich. And then I mocked up some of my strip quilts as well. Here is strip ribbons using some of the colors and also strip stacks, which I used that obsidian background, a dark background. So 32 prints and 8 different patterns, each one colored in 8 colors. So 32 total. So of course, we are giving you an opportunity to pre-order these. We put together a half yard bundles for each of the prints. So we have the Glacier available as a half yard. We have the Moss print as a half yard. We have the Beach Rocks as a half yard bundle, and then the Knits as a half yard bundle. Of course, that's just the pattern. It's not a knit. They're all 100% cotton. Quilting weight fabrics. We are also offering a 32-piece half-yard bundle with all of them. Yes, I know some of you want to have all of them. So we put this together, so that's going to be quite a bit of a better deal than just a single 8-piece if you wanted to do that one. And then, because you asked, can we get more and bigger bundles? So yes, we are offering all of those same combinations in a 1-yard bundle. So you get a yard of each, because these are all basics. You get a yard of each. So we have the 4 different prints in a 1-yard bundle as a pre-order, and then the whole thing, 32 pieces in 1 yard. Just if anybody wants that. Now, of course, when it comes in, we will be offering it in all kinds of cuts. We will have it a part of our 1 yard's basics. We'll have some 3-yard cuts, and believe me, we'll be putting together some amazing kits and new quilts. There'll be more coming. We are just so excited to share this with you. As Andover introduced this line officially on Sunday, and so we are kind of thrilled because we get to take over Andover's Instagram account starting tomorrow. Yes, so if you aren't following Instagram, Andover on Instagram, go ahead and do so. And if you love this line and have a great quilt shop in your area, let them know that it's coming and encourage them to get it in. I am so excited, I'm so thrilled to have such a connection to my home country and be able to share that with the world.
Crowd goes wild. Crowd
Yay!
goes wild.
Yes. Lots more coming. I will be getting my hands on this fabric sometime early next year. Sample fabric, that is. So I'll be sharing what I'm going to be creating with that. Very excited. Okay, we are getting along here, so let's quickly talk about the quilting case. I am so excited to see some of those pop up underneath your Christmas trees. Let's quickly take a look. You are so excited to share that it has arrived. Put it straight under your trees. And I just want to answer one question. I saw some conversation about how if you're going to travel with it, do you check it or do you do it as a carry-on? Now, of course, the case, we cannot guarantee it. It's not under warranty if you do check it because it's not designed as for check luggage. However, I have checked mine, and I check it just like regular luggage. They made me carry it over to the oversized luggage, so it does get put on the plane, but then it just came out on the conveyor belt with the other luggage. And it was fine. Everything inside was fine. It does take a little bit of a beating, of course, but it can be checked. We just cannot. It will not be under warranty if something happens. Just know that. But it is beautiful and great to see you all embracing it. So let's get to our new fabric today. The beautiful quilt behind me is made from a brand new line that actually we had on a pre-order because it's a moda. It's called Sunshine and Blue Skies, and it just looks like it, Sunshine and Blue Skies. It is a gorgeous line from Moda. It is Create Joy Project, beautifully illustrated painted flowers, and so I stuck with the yellow and blue and green theme because I just think that is such a classic and beautiful combination. We have 12 prints in the bundle, and so we're starting with the darker blues here. I love the different size of scale. We have the big flowers, we have the tone on tone. This polka dot is so cute with a little bit medium flowers. We have another tone on tone bringing in some of the lighter blues here, and that will lead into a lighter blue background with the big and small flowers and these beautiful little daisies. We have another daisy print with that medium size. Isn't this adorable?
Adorable.
And I love this one. This is kind of a multicolored print, has a little bit almost like a camo background with all the different daisies on top. A little bit of geometric. I love that she's mixing a little bit of geometrics in here with that green mosaic print. And then another tone on tone leaf print in the lighter green. And then I just had to have this one in here. This is the multicolored light background, but it has all the shades of blue and the gold. It's really beautiful. And I just felt like these awesome large prints need to be shown off in a bigger pattern like Diana Supersized. Here we have larger daisies. Love this one. And then finishing up with another gold, just that flow print, just a tone on tone texture. So that is our 12th print. I want to show you though, we have a 1 yard landscape print. It's called Landscape Ombre Multi, but this, you can't see anything in this. I got to put this up on the screen. It is gorgeous, and so you can use this kind of as a panel. It's just regular width, running yardage, and you can also cut it up. So you can get some blue, some green, some yellow, but that comes with a line. It's not a part of the bundle. But let me show you some other great colors. The flow, like I said, that is her basic. We have it in the bundle in the yellow. We have color is called Lake, that deep blue. And then this one is called Cobalt, and it has a little bit of green and blue. I love this. Great little mix. Then I threw in another lighter blue. This is the Stash in the Stripe Dot. Looks great. Some of the greens, we have a flow from the line, a medium green. It's called Flow in the Green. And then I wanted a little bit of the darker green to pull out some of the darker tones. And so this one is called Glaze in the Fern color. And then the lightest one is Canvas in the Kiwi. So a little bit of that light green to play with the lighter tones of green. For the bright yellows, Dimples in the Raja has that really deep gold. and then a little bit lighter seeds in the butter, mixing in a little bit of white. And then I took the lightest yellow too, dry brush in the daffodil from our butter color club. If you wanted a background with this, I would go pretty white because we have quite a bit of white in here. So either I would go with a dry brush in the white on white, or spotted white, just has a little bit of taupe speckles in there. Either one of those will be a great choice. And with this line also, we have two wide backs. We have floral in the lake color. Look how beautiful this is. 108 wide. We have it in 3-yard cuts and then a few 1-yard cuts as well. And then we have the cloud color as well. So it is similar to the main print that is in the line, but it's larger scale. So look at this, these gorgeous flowers. How gorgeous would your backing be with either of those? So sunshine and blue skies, and we have, of course, the quilt behind me, supersized, Diana supersized. So that is our show for today. Let me finish up by giving you our giveaway question. You can win a $25 gift card. Lots of things to be tempted by today. My giveaway question for you today is, what is your favorite day of this holiday season? I know some of you are going to say Christmas. Some of you may say it's the day after it's all over. So let us know, what is your favorite day? I would probably say, if we can call December 4th part of it, it would be that. I think for me, it's probably Christmas Day. We really celebrate on the 24th, Christmas Eve. So Christmas Day is the day to do nothing. And I can just read my book, eat my chocolate, and do whatever I want. And that's my favorite day.
I'll go with you. I'll go with you.
Yeah, and we stay in our jammies all day, and it's awesome. So let us know, and you're automatically entered into our giveaway. We have some shows coming up. So tomorrow, 1-Yard Wednesday, is December 18th, 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Catch us. And then Perfect Pair, we have this coming Thursday. So don't miss Kara and Nancy. That's December 19th at 9:30. And then our show, final show before Christmas, will be Happy Friday this coming December 20th. At 12 noon. Now, there won't be a Tipsy Tuesday the following week. It lands on Christmas Eve, so no Tipsy Tuesday next week, but the next Tipsy Tuesday will be on December 31st. We'll tell you more about it. We'll have it a little bit earlier in the day. We just couldn't give up the chance to see you guys on the last day of the year. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show, and please share. The Advent projects will be up right after we go off the air. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Lay your fabric here, cut it right there. Stripology, feel that vibe. Quilter's Paradise. Home of the Stripology, feel that vibe. She designs where precision is our vibe. Cut it, slice it, make it so right. Quilter's Paradise. So we can